Hi, Algebra 1 kids. Here's the good news. You're going to love this. I have to be done with my video in 22 minutes. So, you've lucked out today. I'm sure it's the best news you've heard all day long. Now, if I do not have enough time, I'll just continue it later and give you a part 2. But I'm going to do my best here. I know we did a lot of this in class already. Okay, when it says describe the solution of this in words, you got to solve it first so you can describe it. So draw your line, locate your variable, you got to move the 2. Plus 2, so we're going to do the opposite, minus 2. So then we have that. Now you got to rewrite it. Don't try to answer the question with it in that form. Put the n on the left, it opens to the n, 2. Now we can say this, n is greater than or equal to 2. So we're looking for all numbers greater than or equal to 2. Now let's find that. No, greater than 4. It's not the 4s, that's for sure. All numbers greater than or equal to 2. Good. That's B. All right, we're going to graph. So K is less than or equal to -1. So remember I said just make sure you can put the -1 here. If you put 1 on either side, that's kind of nice. And then you're going to circle it. Because of this equal, it's filled in. And we are going to go to the left. Less than, remember the arrow points in that direction, as long as the variable's on the left. W is greater than or equal to 2.5. So I'm going to put the 2 and the 3 and make this 2.5 and then 3.5. You could number it differently, but we're going to go greater than. I do not say equal there, so I'm not going to fill it in. And it's going to the right. It's greater than. So this arrow right here goes the same direction as that arrow, as long as the variable's on the left. Now, write the inequality you see. Okay, we're always going to start with a variable, x. Now, you have to look. Which way is it going? I mean, we have the -3, but which way? It's going to the right. So it's going to be greater than. Is it filled in? No. So I'm not going to put the equal to -3. All right, now the word problems are always a little tricky. Children less than 18 years old are not allowed to vote. Define a variable. So first pick a variable. I'm just going to pick x, put a little colon there, and I'm going to say, what is x? Well, I'm going to say that's the age of the citizens. And you can write age, or you can go as far as write age of citizens. Now they want you to write an inequality for the ages of citizens who are not allowed to vote. Okay, so if you're exactly 18, it's your 18th birthday, you can vote. If it's the day before your 18th birthday, you cannot vote. So you are going to say that the age has to be something less than 18. Not equal, because if it's equal to, they can vote. Just less than. All right, we're down here, and we're going to, again, solve and graph. Make sure you do all the parts that it asks for. If it doesn't say to graph, you don't have to, but you got to be careful and make sure. Locate your variable. Subtract 31 from both sides. So I have x, -26. But before I'm going to graph that, remember the variable can't be on the right. I mean, it can, but most of the time people graph it wrong. So I'm going to rewrite this so we can graph it right. X is greater than -26. So -26, -25, -27. A little tricky with the negatives. Make sure you go the right direction, heading out. Circle it. It is not underlined. I'm not going to fill it in. And it is greater than. So that's going to the right. Pen change. Draw a line. Locate variable. It's a -1/4. So remember, we're always undoing. We're doing the opposite, the inverse. So opposite of subtracting 1/4 is adding 1/4. So I'm going to go over here. A is greater than 5 3/4 plus 1/4. Well, this, you can just add the whole number, so it's a 5 and there's no whole number here, so I have 5. 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4. So that's another whole. So that'd be 6. I'm doing a quick double check here, make sure I'm not missing any negatives. No, I don't think so. 6, 7, 5. So I'm going to circle the 6. No underline, so it's not filled in, and it's going to the right. All right, draw your line, locate your variable. Oh, look at this. So it's adding, right? So we're adding this to it, but they're adding a negative 5. So I have to add the opposite of a negative 5, which is a positive 5. So I have a positive b down here and a negative 14. So negative 14, negative 15, negative 13. Circle it. Is it filled in? Yep, because of this line. And it's going to go less than. It's going to point this way. Mike is on a cross-country trip and wants to drive at least 450 miles a day. So far, he's driven 175 miles. Which inequality can be solved to show the number of miles, m, that Mike must drive to meet that daily goal? Okay, so he's got 175 that he already went. He's going to add this goal, right, or this miles, the number of miles, and we want to meet the goal of 450. But we got to figure out what goes in here. Is it going to be, can I go over the 450, or is it exactly equal to the 450, or what does he want to do? And it says he wants to drive at least 450. So I want to hit 450 or be bigger than 450. So I am going to do greater than or equal to. Number 10, draw a line. And now we're switching over, whereas these other problems that you were solving here, these up here, we're all adding and subtracting. Now we're getting to dividing. So remember the rule. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, inequality flips direction. Okay, so divide by a negative 4, divide by a negative 4. Did I just divide by a negative on both sides? Yes, I did. So that inequality is now going to go that direction. Okay, it's going that direction because of this. Dividing both sides by a negative makes this happen. All right, so I'm left with x, and then negative 64 divided by negative 4 is 16. It does not say to graph, so I'm done. Draw a line, locate variable. I have to get rid of 4/5. 4/5 times h. So opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide by 4/5, which is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Because the 4's will cancel and the 5's will cancel, and we'll be left with our wonderful h. I do not need to flip signs because I multiplied both sides by a positive number. This is negative, but I didn't multiply both sides by that. This is the number I multiplied both sides by. So now I'm going to cross cancel, and I got a 1 and a 2. And a negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. And a 1 times 2 is a 2. And that is it. It doesn't say the graph. I circle my answer so Mrs. Silva can find it. And there is that. Cookies are sold in the lunchroom for $1.50. Anna wants to buy cookies for a group of her friends. Okay. If she has $20, which inequality can be solved to show the number of cookies C she can buy? Okay, so each cookie is $1.50, and she wants to know how many of these can she get. So if they take 150 times the number of cookies, I want to know, can it equal 20? Sure, she has $20. It just can't go over it. So it has to be something less than or equal to that $20. And where is that? There it is. All right, let's look at the next page. I added some on here too. All right, so for the, oops, wait a minute here. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see the top one, so I was wondering what was going on. I see it now. That's blurry to me. Draw the line, locate the variable. Remember, this is all on the top together, so you can't take this -3 out. Okay, that goes together. The best thing you can do whenever you see something like this is get rid of the fraction, and the way you do is by doing the opposite. See how it's dividing by a -7? Do the opposite. Multiply by a -7. And again, what did we just do? Oops, it's not on that side, it's over here. We just multiplied both sides by a negative inequality flips. So I'm going to do that before I forget. Now, the nice thing is we have this -7 divided by a -7 is 1, so that cancels. And I'm left with just the x minus 3 now. I've kind of freed it out of that fraction there. 8 times a -7 is a -56. Okay. Now, this is a two-step. So first we had to multiply, divide. Now we're going to add the 3. And we have x is greater than or equal to -53. Down here, make sure you simplify first. You got to simplify. So you got the -12 plus 3x minus, now do 3 to the second. That's 3 times 3, which is 9, less than 18. Okay, and we can still simplify, can't we? Because we can combine the -9 and the -12. So a -12 and the -9 is a -21 plus 3x is less than 18. We're going to add the 21 and get 3x is less than 39. And lastly, we're going to divide by 3. Make sure you go in the right order. So first you do powers, then you combine the like terms because we're on the same side of the inequality. Okay, when we're on the same side, you can just put them together. Then we're moving it. Okay, so we're trying to shift it over here. So that's when you do the opposite. So we're adding 21, then you do the dividing. Opposite PEMDAS. There's my answer. John's considering accepting one of two positions. I've talked to you about how to lay these out. So they're talking about comparing two different things. So we got the ABC company offers a salary of $45,000. So organize it. And then you got the XYZ company, and they offer $38,000 plus what else? 2% annual commission on sales. Okay, so 0.02 on. I'm just going to use X for sales instead of S. So the question is, for what amount of sales is S, of sales S, well, I put X just so I would know, at XYZ, is the salary at XYZ, this side, greater than, this side greater than this side. So I'll put it so that it opens up to the bigger one. Again, we're going to solve opposite PEMDAS, so we're going to subtract the 38,000 first. 0.02x, and that's 7,000. Divide by 0.02, divide by 0.02, and x is on this side, right? It's over here, and over here it comes out to 350,000. So I need to rewrite this with the x on the left. Opens up to the x, 350,000. Remember, the reason up here we didn't add first is because this is grouped together. Okay, so you had to free it first, get it out of that fraction first. All right, next we are going to do this solving. So let's draw our line. Got to do distributive property first, your little spider legs. So negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. Negative 3 plus a negative. See, and some of you aren't doing this anymore either, so I'm going to leave it like that and just do minus. Put the minus here. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. Greater than, I'm just going to rewrite this. Subtracting a negative is a positive. So I've got negative 3x plus 3 is greater than negative 3x minus 2. So let's get the x's. And look at what happens. Same, they're gone. So I'm left with the 3 on this side is greater than a negative 2. Is that true? Because remember when your variables fall out and you have no variables left, you have to say true or false. 3 is bigger than negative 2. That's true. So what does that mean? That means that all real numbers are solutions. That means anything you put in will work. All right, onward, pink time. We're going to subtract 1/3, right? Opposite PEMDAS. Those are gone. And I have 4/5 x is less than or equal to, this is a negative and a negative. So when you're adding two negatives, you just combine them and you get a negative 1 1/3. But negative 1 1/3 is the same as negative 4/3, right? 3 times 1 plus 1. Draw your line, locate your variable. I need to get rid of this. So we divide by 4/5, which is the same as multiplying both sides by 5/4. I'm not multiplying by a negative, so I don't need to switch the sign. I've got a cross canceling of a 4 there, so I get a negative 5/3. Okay? All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to try these. So here are some problems. I want you to write these down on your paper right now. And then I am going to go over them before the test tomorrow. But I want you to do them first and bring them to class tomorrow. Okay, so there's 2 of them. There's 2 more. So you may have to pause it and copy it down. I'm going to slide up now and give you the other 2. I want you to copy those 2 down and do them. And bring the paper tomorrow. So you should have 4 problems when you come to class tomorrow. We're going to review these 4 problems because these are indeed on the test tomorrow. So I saw that and I realized that there were that. So I wanted to add some review to that. So I added these 4 problems. So please do the 18, 19, 20, and 21 for tomorrow. And then we will review those right before the test to make sure you got those right. Or I might send out, I'll see, I might send out another short video with the answers for you to check, but I'm not sure. Okay, so there you go, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.